We got a little conversation piece here on the coffee table.
Yes, something that every guy should have on the coffee table in their house.
Yeah, exactly.
That's right, Bob.
Yeah, people like to put a book on the coffee table and call it a conversation piece, but
right next to the Bible. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
I think this is a little bit more of a. Imagine if you did just go into for like a dinner party, some suburban home, and and you saw this on the table.
It depends on where those suburbs are.
Okay,
some places go get that firearm away from here, by God. But then, like Texas, I got one of them at the house, boy.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So you, when you first, people who do not know, you served just a little bit of time in the military.
A few days. A couple of months. Mm-hmm.
So you came in 86, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Right. So the M60 was still alive and well.
Yes, I think I don't know when they exactly transitioned over to 240 Bravo, but
I think it was sometime in the 90s.
Yeah.
When they adopted the 240, but I've seen videos of M60s being used in Iraq, like the second Iraq War, up into the mid 2000s.
The dudes I was with, it was an M60. In fact, just like this one.
Yeah. The top cover like beat up like that. Yeah.
Scarred up. Hey, but they don't break.
Yeah.
They don't break. Now, wasn't it you that told me a 240 Bravo is just a modified BAR?
It's a BAR. Yeah. The action. It's like the BAR kind of upside down action, basically. Yeah.
The barrel looks thicker.
Yeah. It might be
a heavier barrel.
It might be. Yeah.
But I got very familiar with this thing. In fact, at this certain place, there was nothing else to do because I could break that thing all the way down completely.
Yeah.
And then real simple in reverse order.
Oh, wow.
You could eat off my weapon.
You still remember how to do it?
You could,
right. Test right now.
Right now. Okay. It's only been, what, 15, 30? Yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
It's like a bike, right? You don't forget.
Yeah. Hey, we should do after the podcast. We should do that. Put you on the spot. Be like, all right, let's see how much you remember.
Get out stopwatch. Go.
Yeah. It's not the easiest thing in the world. It took me a little time.
Once you learn how to do it,
right.
Once you do it a couple of times, it's second nature to you. But a couple of extra parts left over, that don't mean anything, does it?
right. Yeah. That's not important. Yeah.
It works, right?
Yeah. Exactly. I tell you, it's I got to shout out my buddy. I got to get him on the podcast. I would love to get you guys together on a podcast. This guy I know, his name is Aaron Demko.
Okay.
And he is a nut when it comes to the Vietnam War era things. And
okay.
He lives in like Pennsylvania, I think, or something like that. But he runs this website called beltfeds.com.
Okay.
And he specializes in he sells parts basically for owners of belt-fed machine guns.
Hey.
And he is like the guy when it comes to getting M60 parts and all that kind of thing. But I thought I knew everything about this gun at one point.
Yeah.
But it's crazy how many things there are. So like I don't know if you ever ran into this or not back when you were dealing with this gun. But I had a problem with this one where the bolt was locked up, right?
Okay.
So when I pull the charging handle back, it would not move.
Okay.
No matter how hard I pulled on it. And I made the rookie mistake of getting a rubber hammer and banging on the charging handle to try to break it loose, right?
Okay.
Because I'm thinking, okay, I've just got steel on brass contact here.
Yeah.
The steel is going to win eventually.
Okay.
But unfortunately, that was not the case.
No,
because what happens is is the I guess it's called the cam on the bolt.
Yeah,
it rotates and it
locks into the breech.
Right, exactly. And so it was actually locked inside there. And apparently, the way you're supposed to fix that problem, which I found out later, is you you take the gas tube off, the cap on the gas tube, and then you ram the operating rod back, and that causes the bolt to kind of go into its normal action and to where it will rotate and
release naturally.
Yeah,
I'm guessing that's not an expedient method either. It's going to take a while to get that off.
Definitely, yeah.
So if that happened in a emergent situation.
Right.
Yeah, you're pretty much screwed. Yeah.
But yeah, that's something I always wondered. What do you do in that situations? Like if you're actually in combat and you have a catastrophic failure with your machine gun, do you leave it? Do you like try to fix it? I mean,
if you know the weapon the way that you should, you'll know if it's a catastrophic. We conjugating now a catastrophic failure or not. You know, you'll know if this thing is fixable or not. And depending on how fixable, that's why you got a secondary weapon. Your AG and your ammo bearer, they got rifles. You will have a sidearm. So you keep shooting. If that thing breaks, you don't go, okay, stop. Okay, let me fix this. Because the bad guy's going to see, hey, if that guy, he's got a tool breaking that weapon apart, they're going to be on you. They're going to be on you. You always keep shooting. That's why you carry a secondary weapon. It's going to suck that this goes down, but you always keep shooting. Always keep shooting.
Interesting. That makes sense.
Because the minute you stop, you draw attention to yourself.
Right. But if you're in a situation where you have to continue moving, do you think of it as, oh, well, this is dead weight now because it doesn't work? Or do you think I got to keep carrying it with me because eventually
you have it, you keep it with you. Don't, you know, because I'm here to tell you, if you just say, oh, it broke, that's going to be an issue once you get back.
That makes sense.
Hiccup, where did you leave that machine gun? I think there'll be a couple of questions asked. I'm not sure. Okay.
Right. Yeah, it sounds exactly, now that I think about it, this situation we're describing sounds identical to this time when I worked at Target.
Okay. And, that's right.
I'm pretty sure it's the exact same thing with the same stakes. And that's right. I was a child working at Target, and at the end of the day, I worked night shift, and they would take all the trash bags and put them in shopping carts, take them back to the back to throw them in the big dumpster, right? And someone had thrown away a huge amount of spaghetti.
Okay.
Right? And it was in the bottom of the shopping cart, these Target shopping carts. And, they got kind of that, they're plastic and they get kind of a waffle sort of, right, with the holes, whatever. And a bunch of weight was put on top of it. So the bag's busted and there's just spaghetti oozing out of the sides of the shopping cart, right? And the manager was like, oh, we're going to have to deal with that. And they had this thing in the back, which if you throw anything into it, it just crunches it up. I forget, you know what I'm talking about? I forget what they're called, but it's like a metal thing and it just eats everything,
Okay.
And being a 17-year-old, however old I was, I was like, I'll take care of this problem. And I just put the whole shopping cart into that thing, right? And I got in a lot of trouble because apparently shopping carts are expensive.
Yeah, and the company probably don't like them being destroyed. Well, a hose would have did the job.
Right. So if you're in combat and you throw your machine gun away because you're under too much fire, I know how you feel.
I had an uncle.
I've been through that. I've been through something just like that.
So I had an uncle. He was in Korea. He fired an old M1919 water-cooled Browning machine gun.
Wow.
Which I don't know how long they lasted, but he had one. And it was cool. Apparently, as long as you keep water in that barrel, you can shoot all day.
That's what I've heard,
Just all day. Like this thing, 3,000 rounds? You have to change barrels.
Yeah, it depends on how fast you're shooting, but I think it's sooner than that even.
Yeah.
I think maybe.
Less, okay.
Yeah.
1,500, correction. 1,500 rounds.
That sounds right, yeah.
You got to change barrels. But that water-cooled machine gun, shoot all day long. Yeah. And I've heard stories that you could even use urine. I've heard of that. I've never heard anybody do it, but I've heard stories that if it ever came down to it, you're going to stand up in the middle of a firefight. Excuse me, open that water cap, and pretty accurate under fire, and pee inside that water canister.
Yeah.
He says that it was in 1950. And the Chinese were charging him, and they were mowing him down. And he says he was terrified.
Wow.
He says, I read a story. David Hackworth said the same thing. He says when they came at you in a human wave assault, half those guys wouldn't have weapons.
Oh wow.
They'd just be running at you. And and he says even though it was like cutting grass. That's what he described. It was like cutting grass. And he says before his weapon finally overheated, they were piled 6 bodies high.
Wow.
Still trying to climb over the dead ones to get to him. When him and his crew said, "Okay, weapons done, we're out of ammo, we're out of here."
Jeez.
Took off. So I said, "Dude, yes, I would have done the same thing."
And then you just have to go right back into society and live.
You come back home. You're working at the Walmart.
yeah, working at Target. You know? Yeah. So what'd you do in the war? Let's not talk about it right now. Actually,
that's what Eugene Sledge from the Pacific.
Oh, right. Yeah.
He said that when he applied for school at Auburn University, and they asked him, "Did what did you learn? Did the Marine Corps teach you any proper skills, any kind of marketable skills?" He said, "No, kill Japanese," and I got damn good at it.
Yeah.
Whoa. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Hey, I mean,
Wow.
it's a transition, but
Imagine,
problem we hit on before. The problem with this thing is 23, 25 pounds gets heavy real quick.
Absolutely.
Especially if you're walking with all your other stuff.
Right.
And then ammunition. I think during Vietnam, you're going to have a 100-round belt on this thing, ready, I believe.
Yeah. And people that know more about this can correct me if I'm wrong. I think from what I've seen is during Vietnam they would have a short belt in the gun.
50 round.
Okay.
And
I guess that way, if you came under fire, you could put some rounds down.
Lay down some fire, yeah.
And then that's when you put a new.
The Germans did the same thing with the old MG42. They had the little 50-round drum. Mm-hmm. It was easier. An MG42 ate up disgusting amounts of ammo.
Oh, this is crazy.
1,500 rounds a minute. That's 29 rounds a second.
Yeah.
It took a whole platoon of guys just to carry ammo for this thing. Right?
Yeah.
So they had a 50-round belt just for that. We're walking, we're moving. Okay, there they are. You start firing while the other guys come up and hook up more ammo. 100-round belt. When Somalia, I had a 100-round belt for it, and a 100-round belt in the gun, and 100 rounds Army, and then the other dude had more ammo.
Right.
Fortunately, I had a vehicle.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm like,
it's
over there. Okay.
Yeah.
So there's no such thing as enough ammo.
The Germans were way ahead of us when it came to machine guns.
Oh yeah,
because think about it, like you go back to even the MG34, they basically they've had a gun set up like this since the 30s.
Yeah.
Whereas we're still using the 1919, where you've got to set it up on a tripod. You can't really shoot it offhand.
From the hip. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's a huge advantage, I would think.
If you're gonna be mobile. Yeah.
Right. Being able to just put this thing right into action.
I think American doctrine back then was that you're in a fixed position, you sat there, you set up, and you let them come at you.
Right.
Very World War I. The MG34, very well made.
Yeah.
Very well made.
I've heard they're finicky. I know like collectors that have transferable, full auto ones, and they have both the 34 and the MG42. And apparently the 34, it's like you said, it's very well made, but complicated.
Yes.
And the 42 is a lot more simple.
Stamped sheet metal, because by 42, hey, you know what? Those 34s are great, but they cost a lot and they're too intricate. We need something simpler.
Right.
42, high rate of fire. Also, problem with that is that you're not accurate.
Right.
But how the Germans used them, it was an area denial weapon.
Yeah.
It was spray and pray.
Right.
Spray and pray. And the sound it made when it fired, they called it Hitler's buzzsaw.
Right.
Terrified people.
Pretty scary name.
Oh yeah. I read this guy that I knew back home. He talked about in the Hertigen forest. I can't say it. I know I'm slaughtering that word. It's somewhere in Belgium. I went there when I was in Germany.
Okay.
There was a German MG42 position up there. These two guys try to creep up on it. These two GIs, they get seen, get spotted. That guy opened up with that 1,500 rounds a minute, and the survivors said all they saw was a red cloud.
Oh man.
Oh my God, dude.
Yeah, terrifying.
7.9 to 8 millimeter?
It's 8 millimeter. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. So you're talking about you're talking about the same firepower, just twice as many.
Twice as fast. Yeah.
Well, yeah, because I don't know what the 1919 rate of fire was.
About 500.
Yeah, maybe Jesse can look it up so we know. But I know that the M60 is around 550.
Yeah.
And it's probably similar.
Well, okay, the American doctrine was accuracy over rate of fire.
Right.
If you're firing 1,500 rounds a minute, but you're not hitting nothing, who cares?
True. I do think, though, if you think about the context of World War II, having the higher rate of fire machine gun, it kind of made sense for them because they were defending.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we're invading France technically because they're occupying it, right? So they're already set up, so they can have these bunkers with just ungodly amounts of ammo.
Yeah, exactly. If they're on the defense, so probably a good idea.
If we had the M60 or something like that by the time of World War II, that would have been a huge advantage.
I think they did the M1919A4. They called it the Stinger.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Stinger.
That's true. I forgot about that. It had like a stock kind of.
Yeah, and you could run with it and shoot.
It came kind of late though, didn't it? In the war?
Yeah, and John Basilone.
Oh, right. That's right.
He carried one.
Burned his hand off. Well, yeah, burned his hand off under the.
On Guadalcanal, he had a M1919, but he transitioned to the M1919 A4.
Yeah.
The Stinger.
Right.
And you could run with it. And had a phenomenal rate of fire that was like this.
Yeah.
But Americans, again, if you're fired, you need to be hitting stuff. Who cares if I'm putting out all these bullets if you ain't hitting shit?
Yeah. So the 1919, 400 to 600 rounds a minute with the aircraft model going up to 1,500.
Oh, wow. Okay. But so what the regular GIs would have had then, we're talking similar to this, probably
400 to 600.
Yeah. Okay.
They talked about that. I read some stuff, seen some documentaries. They talked about the same thing in Normandy. It was about hitting it. Yeah. The lower rate of fire makes it more controllable, more effective as far as hitting targets. So I'll
tell you what, I've shot this thing enough to know I would not want somebody shooting at me with it.
No. Number one, very loud. I went to a situation. There was like 6 of them firing all at once.
Oh wow,
dude, you do.
I bet that was insane.
You don't want that.
Yeah. I remember you telling me years ago. Didn't you say that you used to do like you would do single shots sometimes?
I could. If you're good. Not that I'm saying it.
Yeah.
You can single shot it.
Yeah.
I joked about what you do. You just if they're out there, you just single shot it. And they think, well, there's just one guy up there.
Oh, right.
With a rifle. Okay. And then, we'll get close enough and rush them. And as soon as they expose themselves, hold that trigger down, baby.
Wow, yeah.
Hold it down.
Yep.
Not going to be good.
No. I'll tell you, I've heard, so when you were in the military, you were like, because you got out in like 05 or something like that?
06.
06? Did you have time on the 240 before you got out?
No, I never got the pleasure of carrying.
Okay.
Old guy, M60 guy, by God.
Well, because I've heard from people who had experience with both, they say that they actually prefer the M60. I even heard, which I don't, I've never been in the military, so I maybe can't relate to. This seems like it wouldn't matter, but I've seen several military veterans say that they thought that the sound of the M60 was more intimidating and that mattered.
It's what you're trained on.
Yeah,
it's what you're trained, what you come up with. Because we got some guys back in the day, they hated the M16.
Oh, right.
Because they were brought up on the old M14.
Right.
Grand, big, they're like, big gun, you fire, you hit somebody, they're gone.
Yeah.
What's his name from that Sergeant Major from We Were Soldiers?
Yeah.
He says, I don't like them M16s. They're like a toy to me, by God. If I need one, they'll be playing laying on the ground.
Yeah. Sam Elliott.
Sergeant Major. Way to go, Sergeant Major. So it's what you're brought up on.
Right.
And I think in fact, I'll say this, it's about training. You got to have good people. If you got good people are more important than good weapons.
Right.
Because if you got good, well-trained people, they'll make that mission happen.
Oh, right.
But as we've seen in history and recent events, you can have the best weapons, but if you got people that don't really know how to use them, not really experienced, Bradleys in Ukraine, I mean, I've heard they lost half of them already. I've heard.
Oh, man.
I don't know. I'm like, and the Russians. I'm an old Cold War guy. I'm sorry.
It's so funny. It's like having a World War II vet on the podcast. I can't stop calling them Japs.
The Russians are talking crap about the Brads.
Yeah.
I mean, because they're like their BMPs are like, which tough vehicle. You can do what you want to it. It'll start. Flip it over. It turns over. Flip it back over. It'll start. The problem with American stuff, we're too technology based, I think.
Okay.
I think too many systems go down on a Bradley now.
Yeah.
Okay, we got to go back. And I don't know how they got these Ukrainian guys trained up.
Yeah.
Quickly enough. Are they proficient?
Right.
Now, I know they went, I believe, I don't know. They took them back to Germany, Grafenwehr, I think, and, ran through a quick training session. Okay. This is how you start it. This is how you drive it. And then here's some tactics. but all these guys are gonna be proficient.
Right.
You know, I'm not necessarily a fan of just throwing them equipment.
Takes a long time to learn how to
be proficient. Yeah,
use
it takes time.
a tank, it's got to be pretty complicated.
They won't give them M1s too.
So what you got to think about too, Derek, is while they're trying to learn to be proficient on these weapon systems, they're trying to learn to be conventional, fighting a conventional force.
Yeah.
They're trying to learn how to fight a whole army while they're trying to learn their own weapon systems.
That's true.
So it's gonna be a sharp learning curve.
Yeah.
But I heard it was some Russian minister talking crap about Brads. Yeah, we knocked out 20 of them. Then I heard we've lost a lot of them. But how are they using them?
Right.
Because the Russians are real big on artillery.
Yeah.
And I don't care what you're in, you start taking hits from artillery rounds, you're not gonna last long.
Yeah.
And they're using minefields like there ain't no tomorrow.
Oh,
it's
wow.
trench warfare in the 21st.
That's crazy.
21st century.
Mines are outlawed by Geneva Convention, right? But they don't care.
Supposedly, yeah.
But they don't care.
Okay. I had some left over, and I thought,
yeah. It is kind of
So
hilarious.
cluster bombs too.
yeah, which we sent them cluster bombs. So yeah.
Yeah. It is kind of hilarious that there's rules in war.
Well, yeah,
You know,
war's supposed to be civilized. You can't brutalize civilians, no rape, none of that stuff.
Yeah.
That happened because, back in medieval times and recent times, if you just let people go out there, like stuff we did in World War II, you couldn't do now.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I read a account from Normandy, and this trooper from the 101st, they were all down the road. They saw some Germans over there in a ditch, and the guy just pulled out his knife, rushed them, dove into the ditch, and just started hacking these guys up. And it was like, good job, let's go.
Yeah.
If you did that today, it'd be, get him out of here.
Yeah. He's a serial killer.
Exactly. You can't. No, that stuff that used to happen in the past just absolutely does not fly now.
It's like that iconic line from Apocalypse Now, where he's reading the report from Marlon Brando's character.
Yeah.
He's like charging someone for murder in this war. Is like handing out speeding tickets to the Indy 500.
True. And that was the other guy. The guy went to kill him. What the hell?
I'm the worst with that.
This is his face.
Yeah, I'm just as bad as you with the names. Martin Sheen.
Martin Sheen's character said that, but Marlon Brando read in his book report said that he says we can drop napalm on people, but they won't let pilots write FUCK on the side of the aircraft because it's obscene.
Yeah. It's pretty deep. It's pretty deep.
Dude.
Yeah.
Like you better not talk about if you're in the Army, and you better not, and you go into any kind of war zone, you better not say kill.
Yeah.
I want to get out there and get you. Better never say that.
Yep.
You better never say that.
Yeah.
Complete the mission.
Right.
Reach the objective. Don't ever say, I'm going to go out there and kill me. No, you be gone. You be out of here. Right?
Yeah.
So I think that's a little bit of American hypocrisy. I mean, I think Bush took a lot of flack during Iraq for sanitizing the war. But when you have a volunteer army and a civilian population, you can't show people, oh hell no,
Right.
what it's like to be there. Oh no, you can't do that because people go screaming off into the night.
Right.
So
Do you think that there would be less war in the world if the world like actually saw the true horrors of war?
I think because they'd be like, oh, don't stop.
Yeah.
I'm probably right. If
think
people
so.
could see the face of battle, they would be like, this is crazy. Stop the war right now.
Yeah, because I mean, as gruesome as Saving Private Ryan, that opening scene is, imagine if there's video because there's no. I mean, I guess maybe on the dark web or something like that. But I've seen some photos and things, but I've never seen like video that is real brutal combat. And I feel like if that was more available to just the world as a whole, I think maybe it would be harder to convince people to.
During the Gulf War, first Gulf War I, the first Gulf War, they always showed the cruise missile going into the building, and then just before it hit, it blanked out, right?
Right.
People felt, okay, yeah, all right, that's okay. They don't think about, it hit that building, blew up, and there were people inside. Nobody thinks about that. And I'll say us, people, Americans, we're okay with hitting them as long as we don't have to see it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what cruise missiles, drones are great because you send out the drones and they do their thing and it's like you don't have to see it.
Yeah.
And it's easier to go to war if you don't have to see the results of it.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
Peace on earth, baby.
Yeah. Yeah.
See where the machine gun from.
I know. It is. Yeah, it's a weird philosophical thing where it's like, I try to be, I don't know. It's like, I mean, war is unfortunately necessary. Just because certain differences cannot be hashed out, and there's really no other place for that.
People won't use reason, and
there's no other place for that energy to go.
We won't do the right thing. Sometimes it is necessary, like World War II.
Right, of course.
I read my old man, raised in the South, segregated South, but then the war broke out. Everybody dropped what they were doing, went down there and joined the army.
Yeah.
Why? Because everybody, even the people getting biased against, were like, we got to get over there and stop these guys.
Yeah.
Because if they get over here, you think these guys are bad.
Right. Yeah.
The SS. Yeah. Let's go.
Interesting that there's no whites only signs on the front lines. That'd be a funny sketch.
Patton, there's a book about the 761st Tank Battalion, which was all black. When they were first got to action in October of '44. Patton came out there to give a motivation speech, and he told them, "I will get up there, and I want you to get up there and kill all those crop bastards that you can, by God.
Yeah.
I don't care what color you are. Get up there and kill them." My old man told me a story once. He says, he was a truck driver in '44, and he says, go. They said, "Get up there, and by God, you see any Germans, kill them." He says, he was 17. He said, "Kill white folks?" And the officer went, those white folks. Let's differentiate right now. If they're wearing that, it's okay. Just make sure, okay?
That's so funny.
Well, thanks for clarifying. Just want to make sure. Just want to make sure. So...
Yeah, I bet your dad had a. They could probably make a movie about your dad.
He never. He was one of these guys. He never talked about the war. I think he mentioned it like 3 times.
Yeah,
in the 35 years.
That's a generation. What like my grandfather? He would like. The only stories he would tell were just like kind of the one like kind of fun stories. Like like he drove the amphibious units. Like that and he landed on Utah Beach on Normandy, so he saw some things. But he told a story about one time they were on the boat and there was a manta ray that was so big that it was underneath their boat and they could see the whatever you call them, but the flaps on each side of the boat. That's how big it was. Oh, shit. And one time they, cleared a spot for like a airfield by shooting down a bunch of trees. He told those kind of stories. He didn't tell like the dark stuff, which he saw.
Well, yeah. Back then, they didn't know how to deal with post-traumatic stress.
Right.
Back then, it was a suck it up and let's go on with life. In fact, the old man told me that the VA said, "Look, just be normal. Just act normal, and you'll be normal." Oh, okay. Is that it? Okay, sure. Yeah. Okay, all right, sure. The trauma is real. The old man was born and raised in a dirt part of the South, by God. Next thing you know, he's crossing the Rhine in a truck. And he talked about how what the Germans did. There was a convoy down the road. They blew the first vehicle, and then they blew the last one. Oh, and now, oh shit, we're trapped. Oh shit. And he says he's sitting there, 17. He's sitting there, and he sees his words. He sees these white guys in these helmets come out of the tree line, threw the snow at him. Yeah. And then he picks up his rifle and he just kind of cut off after that. Yeah. So I went, whoa.
What happened? You play cards? So what happened? Yeah.
Well, the fact that you're talking to me, Dad, I think you made it through. Okay.
Yeah.
But I think that'd be very, if you're somebody who ain't never really been anywhere, and then now you're in the middle of World War II.
Right.
That's going to be a little bit of a shock.
Yeah, definitely. I've always thought that same thing about like my grandfather, how it's crazy where if you made a list of the places he's been, it'd be like Kentucky, Tennessee, Africa, Italy, France, Germany.
That's right.
That's it.
Back home. Well, back then there was a job. I mean, people, the attitude they had back then was, we're going to go over there, win this war, guys. Come on, we're going to win this war, and then get back to work.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. It wasn't a career. The Army wasn't a career. It was just something I have to do it for right now. Let's get this done.
Yeah.
I got to go win the World War, and then we'll be back and then we'll finish that fence. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
And I feel like Vietnam, like those guys came back and they were like, wait a minute, what the hell was that? What was that we just did? You kidding me?
Well, not the same. We were different then by the time the 60s rolled around. Different war.
Yeah.
Some of the support, in fact, America supported the Vietnam War right up until 67. Then after, because the Army kept saying, yeah, we're winning, we're rounding the corner, it's about over, and then Tet kicked off.
Yeah.
The North Vietnamese and the Viet Cong pulled off a big ass attack when they were supposed to be almost beaten.
Right.
And what that did was everybody went, what? Oh, what's all this stuff the last 3 years you've been telling me? What
Right.
the?
That sounds oddly familiar. Has it happened recently? What's going on?
So after that,
It never happened again.
that's right.
Afghanistan was different.
So, but I don't know. And then we treated folks bad. I think they treat the veterans bad.
Yeah,
Because
that was weird.
People, I think back then, people felt like they couldn't hit at the government, but we're gonna get that retired guy or that ex-soldier, ex-sailor, ex-marine. We're gonna give him shit. Give him shit. Then a draft, dude. People talk about bring back the draft. No way.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. No.
Yeah.
My old man, people I know, talk about a drafty army. You got people who don't want to be there at all.
Right.
We'd have to change the way they do things because what are you going to do to them? What are you going to do? But put me in jail? Not make me go to war? Okay.
Right.
Wow.
You're going to go back to putting hands on people.
Yeah.
I'll tell you,
You have to, yeah.
it as much of a freedom guy as I am, it wouldn't be the worst thing for society if you just always knew there was a slight chance, even if it was very small, that you could be called up.
Okay.
It's like maybe I'll eat one burger instead of two. You know? You know what I mean?
Well, then the problem with the draft, which back in the old days, I had to register for the draft. My God, which.
Do they still do that? I did that.
I think they did. I think they did away with it. I don't know.
They still do that?
Selective service.
I had to do that. I had to do it. I'm 35. So
I registered for selective service, joined the Army, and then I've been in the Army like 4 years. I'm a E4 specialist 4th class, and I get something from selective service saying, "Have you registered for the draft?"
It's like
I'm like, yeah, I think so. I think I got this.
You're like wearing your military uniform.
Like, you can stop wearing my BDUs. Yeah. So I'm like, I think I got it. You don't have to bother me anymore. Okay. But it would have to be something like Pearl Harbor ×2 before people would accept that. Now, after 9/11, there were guys running down to the recruiting station. I'm ready to join the Army, but it wasn't no big flood of guys. No.
Yeah. I've heard stories about that there were lines at the recruiting
People wanted to join, yes, because it was very clear. They jumped us. Let's go get them. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it wasn't like World War II guys just quitting their job and walking out. It wasn't that.
Right.
Because it wasn't that kind of war. I mean, I think what people want, simple answers. If it'd been like World War II, we're going to land at Kandahar, then push north, take their capital, by God, and the war's over. I think people will go for that, but it's never that simple.
It's not.
It's never that simple.
Yeah, I mean, there hasn't been an American war like that since
World War II.
Yeah, since World War II.
Korea really messed us up because, Doug MacArthur wanted to take them all. Well, he got South Korea back and said, just keep rolling. Doug, hey, they told you that, maybe the Chinese got a problem. In fact, the Chinese did make it very plain that we will not tolerate an American army in North Korea.
Yeah.
Doug's like, screw them. Okay, all right. Hey, Doug, check your language.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting to see how this, this Israel-Hamas thing plays out. I think it's gonna get worse before it gets better.
They probably got to reoccupy Gaza because they used to occupy it before, and then they backed out, and then says, "Okay, Palestinians, you got it."
Right.
And then Hamas took over.
Yeah, I mean, here's probably what's gonna happen. Mm-hmm. Probably what's gonna happen is America will intervene even more. Israel will win. And it'll create even more problems in the Middle East. Is probably what's going to happen.
True. The Israelis have, for us, we're like, well, humanitarian. Hey, The Israelis said very plainly, if somebody flew across that border and came here and killed 1,400 of your people, what would America do?
Right.
What did we do when they took at 9/11? We knocked out 2 countries, Afghan and Iraq. What? Who's next? Come on. So the Israelis pointed that out, and they were right. It's a little bit of hypocrisy to hear us say, take it easy now. Whoa, wait.
Yeah.
I saw some of these conservative Israelis, and after the initial attack on 7 October, and they were on TV going, hey, anybody that did this, you're a dead man walking. On national TV, I was like,
yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. They ain't playing with you.
Yeah. It's interesting, though, how in America, the way the sides are being formed, because a lot of super liberal people are kind of pointing out, and I'll be honest, I got sort of not caught up in it, but, I started seeing some of that stuff, and it's Israel probably was doing some things that are, being kind of hidden by the media or whatever, But I since kind of realized it doesn't even matter. Both sides may be doing bad things, but they're gonna have to duke it out. There's no way for them to settle their differences. It's just not gonna happen.
Hamas is
it's not gonna happen.
It's in their doctrine. They are hell bent for the destruction of the state of Israel. Right. We will not stop.
And we, as the country of America, won't allow it.
Yeah,
just won't allow it. No, so they won't win.
These from my understanding, these young'uns. Pro-Palestinian.
That's what I was gonna say. A lot of young people who are very liberal. It's kind of interesting because there's a weird rift happening from what I've seen. Doing comedy, I'm around a lot of these kind of people, and there's a lot of young liberals who are pro-Hamas, but then there's a lot of them who are Jewish, right? So it's you think about a friend group of young, very liberal people. Right, and the ones who are Jewish, of course, are not pro Hamas, right, and they're kind of having some issues with their friends, waving around Palestinian flags and doing stuff like that.
You know what?
I don't think you want to be too supportive of either side.
Exactly,
that's kind of how I feel, about it at least.
Well, this dude I know, an Egyptian dude, he says, okay, one thing about the Palestinians. We got to come up with some kind of 2-state solution for them, I guess, because nobody in the Middle East wants the Palestinians, and the Egyptians don't. Right. The Jordanians don't, because a large portion of the population is radicalized. So let's give them their country. Right. But how do you do that?
What do you mean, Derrick? Radicalized, they're on skateboards?
That's right.
Radical.
Hamas. Well, militant. I'm trying to pick the right word. I'm not going to say what someone told me. I'm not going to say it.
Okay, all right.
We don't need no protest outside.
No, we don't.
Fortress Hickok.
We're ready.
Bring them on. Come on now.
I have thought before, not if, but when the world ends and we're in an apocalyptic scenario.
One day, yes. Hopefully in the distant future.
I'm held up in the woods, my fortress, and someone comes screwing around thinking, maybe I'll take this guy's food. Nah. And then you hear a pop, 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 M60 coming, ringing through the woods. I think you would probably try to find a different place.
Yeah, you might. Well, prepping a good idea. Yes, I hate admitting that.
Yeah.
Prepping's a good idea. I got to say it, though. Minorities don't really prep. I said it. Okay, I said it. No, we don't really prep. I come home, the lights are out. Did I pay the bill? Did I pay the bill? Let me call them up. Hey, that's what I'm thinking. I'm not going to run get the generator and credit. No, I'm like, did I miss a payment? So
that's true. Think of all the black people I know. I don't think any of them are preppers.
I'll say it. I've never seen a minority prepper. Never. But good idea. I hate to say it. Good idea. If you got the, what's that store? Not Whole Foods. You buy all the, you buy bulk items at. What's the name of that place?
Like Sam's Club?
Sam's Club.
Yeah. Costco.
You go out there and get 5 gallons of mayonnaise. Yeah, you never know that might come in.
Water cool that mayonnaise. You just dump it right on in.
I would say I'm not really. I mean, I have guns and ammo, but I'm not really that big of a prepper, really.
If the purge ever happens,
yeah,
it's a good idea. I mean,
it is. It's a good idea. I think it's funny. I say I'm not really a prepper, and then like about all these things. I don't really have any food or anything like that, or any guns. I do think there's people I know that are like hardcore preppers. I mean, they are really prepared for
with the bunker out in the backyard.
Yeah. But to me, what's reasonable? I mean, reasonable is the wrong word to use, but to me, what is like something that almost anyone could do, you know, that wouldn't cause like you wouldn't have to go through a lot of crazy efforts to do, is have 3 months worth of food and water
as a start. Yeah,
right. Because I kind of have this theory that if society falls apart,
which you'd be surprised
at some point, it very likely could. It's gonna. So 3 months gives you enough time to kind of hunker down, shelter in place. Remember that term from the pandemic, and gives you time to kind of figure out what's going on.
Yeah,
because there could be something that happens where things get weird for a little bit, but then it kind of comes back and it's okay. I think if things are like dead for 3 months, like there's no services or anything like that, you're not going to be able to stay in your house. Probably you're gonna have to move anyways.
If you don't start seeing the National Guard and the police after about 2-3 days. Okay, all right. I think we got a problem here.
Yeah, there's zombies in the streets or something.
Okay, or something else has happened. Some kind of like Maui, some kind of natural disaster or something like that. No, it's going to come a point. Yeah. In fact, a good book to read, World War Z. A great book.
I've seen the movie.
Read the book. It's a great. What's his name? Mel Brooks' son, Max.
Oh, really?
Wrote it. Right?
I didn't know his son was a writer. Okay,
yeah, and. Great book, and he based it on survivalist. And he says the day will come if something happens, God forbid, you're gonna have to leave the house. You're gonna have to say, okay, we gotta make a decision to leave, because everybody's tendency is gonna be to hunker down where they're at.
Right.
Okay, but if this extends out, you're gonna have to make a decision. We gotta go,
and you got to be in a group.
Yeah,
because you have to have multiple people standing guard all the time.
Yes. So somebody always has to be awake. Somebody always. He mentions that in the book. Somebody always needs to be awake. You're going to have to move. Where?
Right.
How you going to get there? On foot? We hit on that once, one of these shows.
Yeah.
Bikes.
Oh, true.
Be a dirt bike or a sport bike, something like that.
Yeah.
The long-term survival is going to be based on raising food.
Right. And you can't rely on hunting.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
During the Great Depression, certain animals almost went extinct because people were hunting too much.
Strange that you mentioned that. On a recent road trip to Florida, we passed this town in Florida, north of Destin. I can't remember the name of it, but they had a possum monument. A possum monument. Why, do you ask? Okay, they have a possum monument. Because during the hard times of the early 1900s and the Great Depression, if you wanted meat, possum was all there was.
Oh, wow.
And in fact,
that's funny.
These people were so grateful for the noble possum that they built there's a 12-foot monument in this middle of this town, right next to the fire station, to the noble possum.
Wow, that's crazy.
So
I'll tell you, I did have a. I think it was actually Jesse's cousin.
There it is. Yeah.
The possum monument.
I got a picture of me the only standing in front of it. Hey, group shot.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we do not yet have the technology to splice in what we're looking at on this TV right now. We'll get there eventually.
Oh my God!
The next time,
Wausau, Florida. Now, for anybody who's interested, jump in the car, get the family and the kids.
Florida.
Jump in the car, head down to Wausau, Florida.
Interesting.
To see the possum monument.
That's crazy. I'll never forget. I'll tell this story. So I probably told it on the podcast before years ago, but to me, the best shot I've ever seen my dad make. I was a kid. I was a young kid living at home, right where we filmed those videos, right by the target range, right? Okay. And there was a ruckus in the night. Dogs were going crazy.
Okay.
And there was a possum on the front porch. Dogs, at least the dogs we had, were like surprisingly kind of a little bit.
Yeah,
afraid of. They didn't want to get too close to a possum.
Okay.
I mean, they were like a big rat. I mean, kind of scary.
Pretty much. Yeah.
So there was so it was on the porch, and I remember waking up in the middle of the night. Dad goes out there with his Glock. I believe it was a Glock 26 9mm.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that's what it was. Might have been a 40 cal back in those days. And the possum was on the front porch, and it tried to. My dad went out there. I was looking out the window, and it tried to escape underneath the porch rail. There's a little bit of gap between the porch and the bottom of the rail. And it tried to escape, but it was so fat that it could not fit underneath there, right? So it's like trying to get under there.
They're not the smartest animals.
Right, exactly. Exactly. And so my dad takes a shot at it, and he shot it so perfectly that the bullet passed right through the possum, and it did not hit the railing or the porch. And then right as the bullet passed through, it fell. It just like went limp and then fell through, and it just died right on the ground.
My God,
Yeah.
some good ass stress. That's some stress shooting.
Oh yeah.
Back to what you said about the hunting thing. That people got this image because of movies and TV that when the zombie apocalypse comes, it's gonna be a big shootout, the big John Wick shootout. No,
Right.
in fact, more ammunition is gonna eventually run out.
That's an unfortunate reality.
And
Yeah.
you need to break out bow and arrow. A longbow would come in pretty good.
True. Yeah.
You need to find somewhere nice, quiet, out of the way, settle down with a small group of people and start raising crops.
That's right.
Pigs, if you can find one. Now, where you
right.
going to find
Chickens?
Yeah, exactly. Animals that can be mass produced. Now, where you going to get a hog at during the apocalypse? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. But
Yeah. I know there are a lot of people that are kind of, half preppers or whatever, that they do have raised chickens. That's a common.
very good. Yeah,
You
chickens
got
or
eggs,
rabbits.
because you got the eggs and you
True,
can eat, and
true.
then also
That's why they're an important food source, because their chickens are going to produce eggs whether they hatch or not. Yes, so there's a lot that you can do, but the biggest problem you're going to have is other people.
right.
And
Other people not as prepared trying to take your stuff.
exactly, and then hey, it's you or me, dude. You're gonna have to go.
Yeah, and that's where the M60 comes in.
That's right.
There is something I would have to assume that again, I've never been in combat, but hearing a machine gun, you know what I mean? It's just indistinguishable,
Yeah.
from anything else. That's got to be terrifying.
There's no doubt if you open up with this thing or any other automatic weapon, there is no doubt in your mind what it is.
Yeah.
Very effective. The story of some guy on Normandy, Omaha Beach, one German machine gun took out 500-600 Americans. Why not? They just couldn't find him. If you go to Normandy, it's not like Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah, I've heard that. It's not like the tall bunkers.
A little bit of beach and cliffs and big bunkers just right there.
Yeah.
No, the Germans weren't stupid.
Right.
It's about 3-4. I think at low tide, it's 400 yards, 400 yards of open beach at low tide. And those bunkers, unless you know where they are, Germans are great at camouflage. You won't be able to find them.
Yeah.
And the story I heard about this guy, he was in a machine gun position, low down, very concealed, and he was firing non-tracer ammunition, and he was dropping GIs like that. And they just could not find this guy.
Yeah.
What did him in is that he ran out of ammunition. He started firing at 07 that morning, and he had to change out ammo at 2 o'clock. He was all that time he was killing.
Wow.
He had to change out to tracer ammo. Once he started firing tracer ammo,
that's all.
There he is.
Wow.
And that was it. He was done then. But again,
Interesting.
the bad guys are not dumb. They've been watching the same movies we do.
Yeah.
They're not gonna just.
Yeah.
One thing I don't like about movies and TV, it's the mistake I made my first little trip is thinking the bad guys gonna go, all right, here I am. Shit. No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
They don't want to get shot either. So,
Right. Yeah, but like any combat footage that I've watched, it's like they're just like shooting into a tree line, and you can't even see where they are. Yeah.
Which those days are over too. Back in the old days, if you're taking fire from a building over there, and it's coming from that building, we call it artillery, aircraft, whatever. Drop the whole building. Oh no, not anymore.
Oh really?
No. It has to be aimed fire. Third window from the left, second floor.
Yeah.
Because, oh my God, if you hit the wrong person, you injure a civilian,
Right.
that's your ass.
Yeah.
So
I'll tell you what though, if we got into another again remember what we were saying earlier, another World War II type of war where it's like there's some sort of powerful nation really trying to take over the world.
A peer nation.
I bet a lot of that would go out the window.
Yes, it have to. It have to.
Win at all costs type of situation. You know,
It'll have to. Now, who? I guess what? China, Russia. I mean,
they would take take that.
I don't know. The Russians ain't.
It's amazing that Germany got so close to taking over the world. They're a small country.
Well, they were one reason that they were so successful at first. Nobody really wanted to fight. People were still remembering World War I and how bad it was. And the British and the French, and they weren't really sure if they wanted to fight.
Right.
Adolf was like, "Let's go."
Yeah.
Went right at them, right? And the Germans had better tactics.
Yeah.
And
how'd they even have enough people after the people they lost in World War One?
Okay. Well, that's even more reason for, hey, dude, you better get to the house and start making some sons, dude.
Yeah.
Come on. Hey, baby, I'm just helping the country, baby. Let's go. Come on. Let's go. Exactly. I'm sorry. But it ain't about necessarily numbers. It's about training, equipment, and tactics. If you're better trained, better people, you'll win most of the time.
That's one reason China does not scare me as far as actually going to war with China doesn't scare me as much. People were like, oh, they got all these people. It's like that doesn't really
not like now.
It doesn't matter that much.
Chinese Army, People's Republican, Chinese People's Army, whatever they call themselves. They haven't fought anybody since Korea.
Oh, right.
And their doctrine is based on defense. Mm-hmm. Now, if you try to attack China, you have a problem.
Right.
But China ain't went after nobody in a long time now. My concern would be, what if they decide to invade Taiwan?
Yeah.
What are we going to do about it?
Yeah, that's a real thing that could, We'll have to defend them probably. It's tough. It's
great.
The
tough call.
The scariest thing about a conflict with China is the economic impact. Really.
Well, which is another reason I think we might not, because we need them as much as they need us.
Right.
They make our stuff. We buy their stuff. They need us to buy theirs, and we what do we do for them? I mean,
I guess we fuel their manufacturing. I don't know.
iPhones, they make them in China, don't they?
I think so. Yeah, everything's made there.
Well, what
these microphones are probably made there. Let's see. It might be.
Shuri?
Yeah, they're listening to us right now. All right, I gotta look. All right, we got to find out where Shure microphones are made, because we're afraid they might have been made in China.
Well, the reason that
M60 not made in China. I'll tell you
no,
that.
by God, by God. No, we need them to make iPhones, because if you made iPhones here, they would cost like $3,000 a piece.
Oh,
because America, we got people in China working for a bowl of soup.
Right.
But Americans ain't gonna do that. You have to pay me. I'll make your iPhone, but I need $22 an hour. By God.
Right. Yeah. If they're made in America, they'd be like made out of wood.
So, and that's, I don't know, man. I mean, we need each other. We don't necessarily like each other, but we do need each other.
Yeah.
Because their economy has to grow.
That's right.
And because you got 1 billion people.
Yeah.
Which I think only 10% live the way we do. The rest of them have it pretty rough.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. So.
Yeah, China is a massive country.
Yes,
massive.
With a massive amount of people in it, so they have to have employment, and which we generate a lot of economic growth for them, because they make shit and sell it to us.
Right.
If we didn't buy it, who would?
Right. Yeah. Honestly, what it will take is a fundamental change in the way that we consume goods to be less dependent on them.
Nah.
Well, maybe I'm optimistic, but I have this thought.
Okay.
I have this thought that potential future that we could experience would be where as 3D printing technology gets better.
Yeah.
There'll be these localized, warehouses, manufacturing, distribution centers, just like how, Amazon has distribution centers everywhere. So now almost no matter where you live, you can get same day delivery and things like that, right?
Drones.
So, yeah, exactly. So imagine that for 3D printing.
Okay.
That's one thing. It could really change the world, because it'd be less trucking that has to happen. Because things are actually being made localized, and then less reliance on products from China, because we're just printing them out locally.
Now, what happens, John, when AI starts running 3D printing facilities?
Where
we go there?
I was about to ask what when AI takes over, you know. When, when your phone tells you, no, you're not done.
I mean, we saw what AI did to Will Smith eating spaghetti. So. Did you see that?
No, I didn't.
There was some like viral video, and it was like a what was that? It was like was it like a Will Smith spaghetti commercial or something?
Yeah, so it was like they can create video with AI now.
Yeah.
And they got a video program to generate what it would look like for Will Smith eating spaghetti.
Oh my God!
It's absolutely,
okay.
it's
bizarre.
like it looks like something out of a horror film.
Yeah, it's like nightmare fuel. It's like the stuff you dream about.
Oh my God! Okay, I think we've seen this. The term Skynet going to take over.
Right, exactly.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Okay, it's coming true.
Terminator is going to be relevant.
M60 won't stop him. I'll take that back. Yes, it would.
It'll knock him down.
Well, remember in the first one with Schwarzenegger, the Terminator was walking through the police station, and them cops shooting those old Smith & Wesson Model 4s at him, you know, revolvers.
Yeah.
No. Yes, the armor, the metal he had, those old 357s would have bounced off. But when dude broke out the M16A1, that should just zipped right through him.
Oh, right.
I'm the guy that points that out at the movie.
Yeah.
I can't watch military stuff because they wouldn't do that. They don't do that. My old lady's always getting on my ass. Dude, we know. It's a movie.
What do you think is the most realistic like military movie you've seen?
Of course.
Generation Kill is the one I've heard.
Yeah. I guess.
Okay.
It's a Marine, so I guess. I would say the first 24 minutes of Saving Private Ryan.
Okay.
Very realistic. Some of the World War II guys says it wasn't bad enough, which probably wasn't.
Oh yeah, of course it couldn't be.
You couldn't show people that.
Yeah.
It was so realistic that when they first came out with 98, some dudes were going into post-traumatic episodes from which I ain't gonna lie, I was sitting with my 6-year-old son. Well, my dad. I was sitting with my six-year-old son watching Saving Private Ryan in the theater. Remember those days?
I mean, the gore is like on the level of like a Saw movie.
Exactly. And I was like, boy, this is a movie, right?
Yeah.
Hey, John, what's the one where the Vietnam vets, they all gang together? And that one dude has a grenade for some reason.
Uncommon Valor.
Uncommon Valor.
That's the most realistic one.
Yeah. Probably the least realistic. My favorite. Uncommon Valor. You've seen Uncommon Valor.
Hell yes.
That movie. Oh man, that movie gets me. I love that movie.
Get a bunch of dudes together. Hey, let's go to Vietnam. Get them back. Okay.
It's also like whoever made that movie understood the military movie audience, right? Because that plot point in the movie where they lose their weapons and then they have to buy all these World War II guns.
In Thailand, there's some guy, French guy in a dirty white suit runs a bar in Bangkok. Hey, I got weapons. Come down here.
Oh, man.
Hell yeah.
Oh, that's just like, oh, God. Yeah, it's the best thing ever.
The guy pulls up the M1, the BAR, and he's like, that'll be $400.
Right.
$400, okay. Ammunition, an extra 100.
And then Gene Hackman is a Korean War vet. So he when they open that case, he's just like, ha, ha, ha. Like, yeah, all right.
Another one I've seen a movie as far as I don't know, it's pretty realistic. I like it as Cheers to the Sun.
I like that one a lot.
God,
Bruce Willis is so good in that movie.
Yeah.
That's a good movie. It's like it's a very like I don't know how to describe it, but it's like it's a very just like deep, like kind of emotional movie. It's good.
Like, what would you do?
It.
You know, hey, we're gonna save this lady. She said, I ain't going.
Yeah.
Okay, leave her there. No, you don't.
Right.
No, you do not leave her there. Real life, you will not leave her.
I love too the way the men interact with each other and the Navy SEALs and that conflict where they're kind of like, what are we doing? What's going on here? And then where Bruce Willis' character is like, he's like so honest with them, where he's like, honestly, I don't know.
True, and I think that's realistic when he said he lied to her to get her to get on the bird. You know, okay, we're going to take you and these 15 people we don't know, and we're going to get everybody out. And then we get to the LZ and the birds land, and they just, get on the plane and leave the rest of them.
Right.
Lie to her? Yeah.
He was in a mode of like, just get the job done.
Yeah, but somebody said too, but you knew these kids are going to get hacked to death by these nutcases.
Right.
Do you bring everybody? Something else was unrealistic when they got the lady on the bird and they're flying back, and he's like, "All right, turn it around and go back." Okay, let me tell you what really happened.
Yeah,
that pilot ain't listening to you.
Right.
You better call somebody and then get them to tell me this to go back. Otherwise, we're going to that ship. Movie over.
Yeah.
But real life, I would take the kids, get them on the bird, and then once we get back, they're gonna get all upset. Why don't you bring these kids back? You know what?
Right.
They're here. You deal with it.
Yeah. And you know, I could be wrong on this, but I'm pretty sure that movie is the only movie that showcases an M60 E4.
Sure.
Which is, you shot my M60 as it was in the E4 configuration that time.
Rucker, what's his name? Klaus Hauer is his last name.
Okay.
He's what's that? He's on Yellowstone. He's the guy in Yellowstone now.
Okay.
Whatever his name is, but great actor.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, he had the M64. Yeah.
And dude, but you know, I like the remote control Claymore.
Oh,
if you know, he runs out there and he throws the Claymore down.
Yeah.
No wires. I don't know how you set this thing off, but he runs back and then pulls this switch out of nowhere and just it goes off.
Yeah, it's Bluetooth, Derrick. What are you, an amateur? What is this, amateur hour?
That's right.
It just starts playing music by accident.
And of course, every war movie, everybody always has plenty of ammunition.
Yeah.
Shoot all day. I mean, they're just spraying everywhere, fighting it out with the Nigerian army.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't know where you got. Where's the ammo coming from? Of course, I read a story about that. There's an old movie with Humphrey Bogart called Sahara. From 1943, and same thing. The American tank crews shooting it out with the Germans, right? And Humphrey Bogart did a tour, a USO tour in Italy in 1944. And the GIs asked the same question that we ask now.
Yeah.
Hey, how'd you make your gun shoot all that time without reloading? He said, movie magic. So again, movies are.
Yeah. Oh,
some people can't watch them. I can't.
Speaking of that, that reminds me. Have you seen the remake that came out on Netflix of All Quiet on the Western Front?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm glad you've seen that because I want to talk to you about something in that movie. That I don't know how realistic it is, but it's one of the darkest war movies I've seen. Where it's just grim.
It starts out with them recycling the clothing.
They're just stacking up all the clothes and everything.
And then recycle them, issue them out again. Good idea.
Yeah. I think that movie has, I don't want to ruin it for people who haven't seen the movie, but that movie has, to me, one of the most powerful scenes ever in a war movie. Mm-hmm. And it's at the end when that guy thinks that it's over.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But then he finds out he has to go back in, and he's been through so much. He has been through so much.
Because of that jerk officer, yeah.
Yeah, he's been through so much, but he's so just fried mentally.
Yeah.
That it's like this guy that has been through literal hell, and he thought it was over, and he finds out he's having to go right back into that hell.
Yeah.
But he's been through so much hell that it doesn't even faze him.
Yeah, he's a nerd. He's numb to it. Yeah,
yeah. I just thought that was just the artistry of movie making. It was incredible.
One thing that we first learned about post-traumatic stress in World War I, they called it shell shock back then.
Right. George Carlin had that famous bit, shell shock, straight to the point, shell shock or whatever, how he did it.
But one thing that we learned, it's amazing that more people didn't have PTSD.
Right.
Because what got those people through it was the camaraderie. You had your people around you helping you get through it. That's a good thing. Also, another myth that the movie All Quiet on the Western Front persists is that you spend all these weeks and months in the ditch. No. The British Army, you go up there, you spend about 4 days. And then you rotate back, and then somebody would take your place.
Yeah.
That's how you keep your mental, your emotional injuries down. It's gonna suck for 4 days, but then you come back to a little bit safer place.
Right.
Shit, shower, shave. Okay, then go back up again.
Yeah.
That's what really happened. Also, rats were rats.
I know about those in Chicago.
This is a side story. This individual that I work with, their partner took them to Miami.
Okay.
On a road trip, and they go into this restaurant, and they showed me pictures of this restaurant on Miami Beach. Rats on the table.
Oh, geez.
And people just kind of sit there like nothing's wrong.
That's crazy.
Hey, dude, there's like rats everywhere. They're like, get out of here.
Jesus.
No. I'm sorry. I got my limits. Just a little bit of hygiene. Yeah, rats, not good.
I live in a basement apartment in Chicago, which, those old city houses, they got the basement. And when I first moved in there, before I brought my cat up there.
Okay.
Because I have a cat, and I was sleeping on an army cot. Actually, I had no furniture. I had no furniture.
That's right.
So I just got one of those little fold-out cots, whatever.
That's right.
And I'm sleeping on that, and there was like rats running around on the floor. I was like, I'm just gonna close my eyes and try to go to sleep, and just hope they don't jump up here.
That's why you sleeping bag, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's why. So you zip it all the way up, head inside.
That's right. Yeah.
Before you get out, you make all this noise to scare them away. All right,
exactly.
that's gonna work.
Yeah.
Hey man, that's how it starts.
I'll tell you what, the rats are smart because ever since I brought my cat up there, I have not seen one. Not seen one. He's not even like a killer type of cat. Just I don't know. They just know.
Remember that old show? Okay, no, you don't. There's this old show on MTV. Back from the old days when MTV actually played music.
Okay.
Called Joe's Apartment.
Okay. Yeah.
It was about a dude. Yeah, I know. It's a young dude living in a basement apartment in New York City, and the roaches talk. That's Joe's Apartment. Check it out. Great show. The roaches get him a job.
Yeah.
The roaches put on a song and dance routine for him.
Yeah.
And the one thing they were afraid of were cats. Now, I don't know if an enemy of the roach is a cat, but apparently these roaches were terrified of them.
Yeah.
So, again, Joe's Apartment. Check it out. Going back to the 80s.
I remember back when we used to work together.
Okay.
When we were back when we were on the same job.
That's right.
I remember there was some kind of situation going on, missing person, and we were in this apartment, and there was roaches everywhere. You know what I'm talking about?
I remember this individual.
Everywhere.
Oh, my God.
It was crazy, just crawling on the walls and all over the kitchen. And I'll never forget, there was this one guy, he didn't have his shoes on, and he walked. You remember this?
Yeah. Oh my God.
There were these. I still remember it as clear as day. He had these two. He had his shoes sitting right by where like the kitchen counter was. And he walked up. He was gonna put his shoes on. He grabbed one of them, and he goes like this, right? And nothing came out. And I remember thinking in my head, I was like, man, that's bad. If you got to like check your shoes in your apartment for that,
check them out.
Right?
Oh my God.
Then he grabbed the other one and did the same thing. And I swear like 100 roaches fell. They were like little small ones. And I was just like, good God.
What people suck. I mean, I try to see the good people. I mean, but oh my God.
How do you just like, I mean, understand, I can be a little sloppy sometimes, but like, how do you let it get that bad? How?
Dude, if I remember correctly, was it either that place or a similar incident?
Okay, because there has been others.
Yeah, oh yeah. And I remember
the only one that had roaches.
When there was a break-in, we were foot patrolling around the building, and also we see a broken-in window, and we go in there. And the door was smashed.
Yeah,
and we call them the local officers. They do their thing, and we're sitting out there in the living room, and this dude's sitting on the sofa, smoking, and I'm like, okay, and there was a grocery sack full of weed. Sitting there, a grocery sack, full of weed. He's sitting there smoking, and roaches are just, dude, what's in that stuff? What is in that stuff? That was the best anti-drug commercial I've ever seen. Right there.
For real,
Right there. Oh, my God. Oh, dude. But
it's crazy.
Not as bad as I know I told you about the hoarder.
Oh, yeah, I can't remember. I think you did.
The hoarder, the hoarder, the people with the tunnel of trash.
Oh, right, yeah.
They were that was cleaner.
Yeah.
than those apartments. Oh my! Again, what frame of mind? Are you to think that's okay? I mean, I don't know. I guess it's what you're used to.
Right.
Like the hoarder, he was used to that.
Right.
I kind of hey man, how long you been like living in here?
Right.
All my life. Okay, that explains a whole lot right there. Yeah.
Yeah.
And those guys with the road. I wish there had been an air hose somewhere because I felt like I need to go out and just take out all my clothes and shake them out.
Oh, yeah.
Dude.
Yeah.
Oh, people. Oh.
I know. Yeah, I don't get how you do that because my place get a little too messy sometimes, and but there's a point where it's just like, all right, this is crazy, and then you like clean it up, but just to the point where you just got the chronic roaches,
infestation.
Exactly.
Rodents, six-legged beasts. When it's that bad, come on, who looks at that and goes, it'll be all right.
Yeah, exactly.
It'll be all right.
I'll tell you though, I have a problem in my apartment in Chicago. I have a problem with silverfish. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Oh man,
dude. Where you living at, dude?
I know. I know.
I just okay. You're blowing the image I had of you. I thought,
yeah.
you know, Lakeshore Drive, penthouse apartment, you know, hot and cold running women. That's what I thought you were doing. But you're like, man, I'm on the north side in the basement apartment. I'm chasing rats off my bunk.
Well, I got something intentionally cheap because I gotta have. I gotta have two places. I got
You're blowing the image I had. I thought you lived in a bachelor pad. I was like, hey, baby, another beer. Yes, daddy. All right. Dude. All right. Yeah, you know what? Let me go I gotta go to the store. You jump in the red Porsche, a wide shirt, dude. So much for that image.
Of the Magnum PI of Chicago.
Yeah, exactly. Do a couple videos on the side, while I'm doing my private investigation.
Yeah.
Dude, there you go. Hickok Mysteries.
That's right.
we got
Unsolved mysteries.
There's mysteries.
There's plenty of them in Chicago.
Oh, yeah. Dude.
I'll tell you, there's a this is so funny. All right, so there's a YouTuber, and a channel called Mr. Guns and Gear.
Okay.
And it's funny. I forget what his real name is. It's sometimes like so there's a bunch of these whatever, I don't know, call them colleagues or other people that make YouTube videos that I know. And I know them based on their screen name, but I forget what their real name is. I think his name is Mike. I'm pretty sure is his first name. Well, I've only met him a handful of times. But he'll like post stuff on his Instagram about whatever, just some like crime or something that happened or some surveillance footage or like someone getting robbed or whatever, things like that. And so I'm scrolling Instagram and I see this post from him. I'm like, I know that spot. And it was an armed robbery in Chicago, and it was an intersection like right by my house where this guy's like literally like I walk by there all the time, and these guys apparently it was like 4:30 a.m. which I wouldn't be out there at that time.
Oh, thank you. Yes.
But some lady had she had her luggage, like she had just probably taken the train in from the airport and was trying to get to her place, and these guys just rolled up, pulled out like 4 or 5 deep. One of them had an AR, and there was a car that drove by, and he like pointed the rifle at the car to be like, all right, keep it moving.
Okay, big anti-gun city.
Yeah,
they're right around AR, of course.
Right, of course. Exactly.
Okay. Oh, hold on, so they got guys out there doing traffic control?
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, he had the little orange vest on.
Like you see another one across the street with that little survey thing. Just kind of
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Little stop sign. Good.
Yeah.
But dude,
that would be hilarious.
I mean, come on.
That's so funny.
I think you can avoid a lot of that by situational awareness.
True. I mean, because I remember when I first moved up there, I told you that story about I thought I almost got robbed or whatever.
Okay.
I told you that story, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like there was like 11 armed robberies that happened that night in that area. But again, they all happened at like 6 a.m. So, maybe don't walk around at night.
Late at night.
That late.
Chi-town, come on, dude.
Yeah.
I'm from the South. Chi-town's this dark, foggy place with dinosaurs.
Right. It shouldn't be that dangerous, but you're asking for trouble.
Yes. Don't put yourself in that position.
Right, because a city that big, there's just people and traffic around all the time. So it really takes like hours like between 3 and 6 a.m. for it to actually be kind of dead.
Yeah.
And that's the worst time you could be out there.
What are you doing? Which you see people out there, walking around, on their cell phone. It's 3 a.m. in the morning in the park. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Get in the house. Now, I'm not saying live in fear, but I'm like, don't be stupid.
Right.
Hey, what about Memphis, man? What's up?
Yeah, that's the thing. People think Chicago's the most dangerous place.
No.
It's not. Memphis is one of them.
Some of these city officials are requesting the National Guard be deployed to Memphis.
Wow.
Because there's a big crime spree there now.
Yeah.
I'll say that I went down there for a hearing, and it was the most. I've never seen that many police.
Wow.
In a place in the United States.
Is it so? The violence in Memphis? Because I know that was the thing with Chicago, where Chicago still has a crazy high murder rate, but a lot of it is actual gang violence.
Yes.
Where they're murdering each other over that.
It don't even make the news anymore.
Yeah. In Memphis, is it that, or is it actually like carjacking?
Yeah,
stuff like
carjacking,
that?
armed robbery, assaults. Last one, just people were in a store and some dude just rolled by and started capping off rounds. A lot of snatch and grab robberies, shit like that. Again, some guy, he's one of the aldermen. He wants Tennessee National Guard deployed into Memphis to do what?
Right.
Do what? I mean, what? They're not going to arrest nobody.
That's the thing. You can't have a. What are you going to have an M1 tank on every corner? Like
He said it was an older guy. He remembered when King got shot in Memphis. The National Guard went in there and held shit down, which it ain't that world no more, man. You can't. Oh, it ain't that world no more. Back then, you know what? I told you get in the house. No, you clubbed that guy over the head, threw him in the house.
Yeah.
No, you don't do that no more. No. That hearing I went to, as soon as I got anywhere near Memphis, Shelby County, you start seeing increased Tennessee Highway Patrol. As soon as you got inside Shelby County, you start seeing Shelby County Sheriff's Department vehicles everywhere.
Yeah.
And then you got to inner city Memphis PD everywhere. I've never seen such a police presence so high. I'm in a marked vehicle in a uniform, and I went to the hearing. Dude, this guy that was on trial before, the guy I came down there for, he had FaceTimed himself killing another guy.
Oh, jeez.
And they start reading the indictment. They tortured this, shot that, cut this off. I'm like, why are we here?
Yeah.
This guy needs to burn,
Yeah.
But he knew he was going away.
Right.
He says, no, it's my right. I want a trial. I want everything. Because he knew he had no chance. He was doing it to get back at the system.
Oh, yeah.
And man, I remember sitting there, myself and every other officer and family member in that courtroom were just on the edge of the seat, glaring at this guy. This guy, I mean, well, and even the judge like, why are we here?
Right.
The lawyer said, because he wants to go to trial.
Yeah.
Because what else is he going to do? He ain't going nowhere.
Right. What was his defense? Like, AI made that video? You know?
We have a videotape of me. Hey, this is me killing that guy.
Yeah.
So what's that prove? But court started at like 8 in the morning, and by 8:30, 9 o'clock, they were still going.
Wow.
Because they had such a high, in the past, Memphis had such a high incarceration rate that the federal government was ready to step in, which I found out the feds are getting ready to come to Memphis again. Dude, you better get in the house.
Yeah.
When the feds roll up,
yeah.
you better get inside because they will hook you up. There's a federal prison camp down there too.
Wow.
Dude.
Yeah, Memphis is rough.
Yeah.
Good barbecue, though.
I wonder if part of the petty crime down there, right?
Yeah.
I wonder if it's because it's on the border of Arkansas and Mississippi. Like,
True.
you commit a petty crime, you just shoot across the border.
Yes.
That's a good
South
point.
Haven. South Haven. That's Mississippi, ain't it? I think South Haven.
I'm not sure.
You're right. It's just you commit a crime in Germantown or Memphis, jump across the border, you're in Mississippi now. They can't touch
Go
you.
down to Tunica.
Yeah, with the money I just snatched, I'm gonna go play the slots a little bit.
Yeah, yeah.
Which I stopped down there coming back from New Orleans.
It's a pretty good time. Yeah.
Okay, I'll say what I saw.
Did you go to the Golden Nugget? The horseshoe.
I pulled up and we were driving back from Memphis, and I look up, hey, Tunica, the slot, the riverboat. Okay, let's go. We pull in there. The restaurants are great.
Yeah.
The hotels are cheap because they want you to spend all your money on the tables, right?
Right.
All I saw was a bunch of older dudes at like 2 a.m. sitting there smoking, dropping coins in the machine. I mean, 2 a.m. That's all I mean, smoking.
Yeah.
And then a lot of prostitutes around.
Yeah.
For the old guys.
Right.
So I went, okay, I guess it's a living. I guess, all right. But
I went to you're correct, by the way, South Haven. Yep. It's right south of it.
exactly. Or South Haight, as it's called.
South Haight.
South Haight.
It's like in Chicago, Gary, Indiana.
Yeah.
Which is right there, which is like a pretty rough place.
Oh, yeah. The Jacksons are from there. Okay.
Okay. They call it Scary, Indiana.
That's scary.
That's what the locals call it. I went to it's funny, there's like this there's a casino. I think it's in Indiana, but it's like North Indiana, like right underneath. like everything south of Chicago is like this super industrial and all this kind of shit.
Yeah. Okay.
But there's a casino down there. It's a horseshoe casino.
Okay.
It was a fun time. It's pretty fun.
Amidst the urban landscape. This is pretty good. Pretty good.
It was pretty good.
Okay. I went to Indiana. It seemed very country, rural. Indiana.
Oh yeah, most of it.
Until you get up north near Chicago, then it starts.
Yeah.
But we went.
And Indianapolis is cool.
We passed through there when we went to someplace, Nashville, Indiana. In fact, went to Nashville, Indiana.
Right, that's funny.
And went to this. It was a 4-wheeler course.
Okay, that's awesome.
And the reason it sticks out is that we're driving to the middle of Indiana in February, and there's a camel over there. In this field, a camel. I stopped the car, turned around, went back.
Since '03.
Went back. Yes, it was a camel, and okay, sure,
Yeah.
of course, why not? Why not? And then we drove on. Great.
How many humps?
One. Thank you.
Okay.
What's that called? A dromedary.
Okay.
Anyway, I don't know if the camel sticks out, but there was a great 4-wheeler course, and the people very nice. They're gun toting up there, by God.
Oh yeah.
And I carried that trusty 1911 with me, and
Nice.
I was like, "Hey, look, I don't want to scare anybody. Look, I'm an officer. It's okay." He says, "No, boy, it's all right. Everybody carry around here. Don't you worry about that nut." I says, "You in Indiana, boy? You sound like you from around the south where I come from." He says, "Yeah, boy, it's all right." Okay, all right. This is Indiana, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll tell you, you smoke cigars sometimes, right?
Yeah, sometimes.
I'll tell you next time.
Can't tell about his cough.
Yeah. I'll tell you next time you're in Indianapolis, one of my favorite cigar bars in the country
Okay.
is, I don't know what, I can never remember what it's called.
Okay.
But I kind of know where it is. So there's a spot like near downtown Indianapolis where they have this like circle. There's like a circle, and there's like this big monument they have, and it's a monument to when they joined the Union during the Civil War.
Oh, okay.
And it's like this big circle, and there's a bunch of different like things on that circle. But there's a cigar bar there. So if you like Google cigar bar in Indianapolis when you're there, you'll probably find it. But you go down under the street.
Oh.
So you go like down the stairs, you go down there, and it's just like huge like cocktail lounge. They don't have food, they only have drinks, and there's just like couches and chairs like this, just everywhere. This huge. I mean, it's so cool. It's awesome.
Something real, very 30s.
It feels like it has a speakeasy kind of vibe to it. Yeah.
Indiana's real big. I think Dillinger and all those guys used to hang out up there.
Yeah. There's a restaurant called the Slippery Noodle. Yeah, I know. It's like a blues, kind of like a blues bar / restaurant. And there's a spot on the wall where Dillinger and his gang used to target practice. Yeah. It's pretty cool.
The problem we got in the jurisdiction I'm in is that people will drive up from Middle Tennessee to Indiana and Kentucky, rob, cheat, steal, and then then come back to Tennessee. Problem is, you get caught. Apparently, one of them got caught, and I'm here to tell you, Indiana justice ain't no joke.
I can believe it.
They don't play with you. You messed up.
Yeah, but
they thought they were in a high-speed chase. Well, we're going to just outrun these guys. Oh, they screwed up.
Yeah.
They screwed up because they got caught. Indiana justice don't mess with them.
Yeah.
It's old school. Not old school. Which places like I think Chicago. I got this again. You're gonna blow my image of it. I got Chicago jail. Iron bars.
Yeah. Where we at on time over there? By the way,
sitting there right at 1:30.
1:30. Okay. All right. We got to figure out one thing at a time. We're getting better at the system.
Okay.
We're working on it. But that's one thing we got to figure out is have like a. Maybe like hand signals, or like if we have like or if we have like a little like a clock there or something.
I was thinking sundial.
Sundial.
Yeah, this new thing I'm thinking about, sundial.
I like it.
We got lots of light in here. So.
Just based on the light, yeah. Why isn't it changing?
You gotta get like maybe some kind of like they do on the TV, some kind of they can signal over your headset.
That's right. Yeah, exactly.
What's it? Just in?
Yeah,
okay. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
We're gonna call it, folks.
Like a Walter Cronkite type thing.
Yeah.
Or somebody steps in, has a sheet of paper.
Yeah.
Just in.
That's what would be really fancy if we had like a sound booth
Yeah,
So you know what I mean? So like Jesse could decide if he wanted to talk. He could talk just to us, so only we hear it, but it doesn't come through on the podcast. Or he can talk and it comes on the recording.
You can't give me that power.
Dude, SNL, the news desk.
Oh, right.
They get set up like that.
That's right. Yeah,
dude. Hey,
that's right.
the map of the world behind us.
Yeah. Norm Macdonald, the best ever. At,
Norm Macdonald.
He was the best of the. Well, I forget what they call that segment, but then that new fake news session.
Who was the guy before
Fake
him?
news.
He had a comedian that was known for had this great diction. He was an encyclopedia of words, real highbrow.
Colin Quinn.
Yeah, I mean, people said his comedy was too highbrow. But he said, "Screw them." Hey,
yeah, he's great though. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, Amy Poehler too.
Oh right.
Oh,
yeah.
She was good. Oh.
Yep. Old school SNL. Oh yeah, I forgot what I was gonna say, but whenever like we talked about before, like you got to come up to Chicago.
Okay.
We'll go to a Cubs game.
Cool.
We'll try to plan it when Atlanta is playing, so there'll be a Braves guy. You know,
it's Chi-Town. I heard you guys are serious about your baseball up there.
Yeah, they are pretty serious about it. Cubs are getting, they're decent. They're not terrible.
Hey, I hear they're real militant because we went to St. Louis wearing Braves gear, and then people were like, "Hey, what's that? What are you doing?" I'm like, "Dude, it's baseball.
chill
man.
out.
Relax.
Yeah.
It's cool, man. I'm not.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll take it off. All right. Dude.
Yeah, nah, you'll be fine.
Okay,
Wrigley
all
Bill's not that uptight.
Okay. So, again, I got this gangster image of Chicago.
No. Wrigley Bill's like it's like, nah, it's not like that. What I was gonna say is we come up, we'll go to the death site of John Dillinger.
Okay, where he got shot in the head after seeing that.
Yeah, it's cool because the theater is still there.
Okay,
you know, it's got the original. I think it's been restored or whatever, but it's like the original like marquee out there, the Biograph. You know,
where did Capone hang out?
All right, so there's a few places. There's a place that I can't believe I have not been yet, but it's like one of the most famous places in Chicago. It's called the Green Mill. Okay. And it's a bar that he was like a part owner of, and there was like a tunnel underneath where they would like bring in all the liquor.
Okay.
And there was tunnels to like other places where they would like deliver. But there's a restaurant in Chicago that's one of my favorites, and it was Al Capone's favorite restaurant. Okay. So, you know, we're the same. And
okay. Yeah, of course.
We have the same taste in restaurants.
Of course.
But it's the oldest Italian restaurant in Chicago. It's called the Italian Village, and it's kind of like right downtown in the Loop. Their lasagna is incredible. It's the best lasagna I've ever had,
dude. Okay, that movie, The Untouchables, when Sean Connery gets it.
Oh yeah.
That I guess I'm guessing that's in Chicago.
I think they filmed it there. They had to because it looks very Chicago.
I'm like, bringing a knife to a gunfight, and then that guy mowed him down with a machine gun.
Yeah,
a lot of history.
I
didn't have the balls to go up there. We planned the trip up there, but I didn't have the balls to go. I need like a guide.
Right, I can be your guide.
Guide me in, boys.
Yeah, I'll do it. Yeah, man, that'll be great.
I won't be that tourist that gets lost.
Yeah,
okay, excuse me.
Right.
Which way back to Georgia?
Yeah. We can go down and check out O Block.
What's that?
Pull up O Block on it.
O Block. Okay.
No, it's like I don't think it's as dangerous as it used to be because it was so dangerous for so long.
Okay.
But it's one of the most famous neighborhoods.
Okay.
For being very dangerous.
The South Side and shit.
Yeah, there it is.
Okay.
I've driven by it before. That's Led Zeppelin. That's not O Block. He pulled up the 10 Years Gone album. That's not O Block.
Damn it.
It's like a project.
Yeah, sort of. I've done some, driving around down the South Side to check it out.
Okay.
Just for everybody that can't see this, it's literally a YouTube video that says O Block, the most dangerous block in Chicago.
Yeah, let's go see. Yeah, let's drive around. Yeah.
I know that there's so there's a comedian in Chicago. Her name is Erica Clark.
Okay.
And she is the daughter of none other than Mr. T.
Okay.
And I did a show with her up in the. Do you know what the UP is?
Upper Michigan. Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. It's funny. I didn't know what that was until I went up there the first time.
It's cold as hell. I know that.
Yeah. It was like in it was several months ago, and they had snow up there. It was crazy. But anyway, she grew up on the South Side, and she explained to me how apparently 63rd Street and 64th Street has been at war basically. It's like a Hatfield and McCoy's almost.
They're
situation.
killing each other over nothing.
Yeah, it's not even like over drug territory. It's just like, it's like Hatfield and McCoy's. Like you killed somebody I know from that street, and it's just. God. So it's like if you're from that street, like people get killed like on the spot.
So what do they do? So as we're driving through, what are they gonna do to us again?
Right. Yeah.
We're just passing through.
Yeah.
No, I get up. Well, okay.
Yeah. What we'll do is I'll get us some custom hats made that say 64th Street on them, and then we'll drive down 63rd.
No, we gotta get a cop. We gotta make sure we look like cops. We gotta make sure. Let's make. I'll leave no doubt that they think we're the police.
Yeah, exactly.
What they gonna do?
Yeah, I've heard a mistake that that tourists coming into Chicago make. Apparently, this is like a common mistake. So there's two airports in Chicago. You've got O'Hare, obviously, and then which is like way out in the suburbs, and you got Midway, which is for some perspective. So the most dangerous part of the South Side is around like 63rd, 64th Street. Okay. People have told me basically like between like 50th Street and 80th Street is like kind of the roughest part.
Okay.
So there's another airport called Midway, and it's on 59th. So you're right there,
close,
right there in the heart of it. And what people do is they take the train. So the red line goes north and south from the South Side all the way up to the North Side. Okay. And people will fly in, like a red eye or something.
Okay.
And then they take the red line, which has all these stops on all these, and bad things happen.
Yeah. No. We were in St. Louis, which is like might as well be South Chicago.
Yeah. Parts of it very rough.
Yeah, and we're driving through, and we call a friend of ours that's from St. Louis. And like, yeah, we're over here on the northeast side, and there's a train station over there. And this person yelled through the phone, "My God, do not get on that train. Do not get on that train. I don't care what you do." So no, we're not stopping. I think it's like an adventure thing. It's like a dare. Was it like a dare? You were driving around. Was it like a dare? Initiation. If you will be one of us, you must go to O Block and return.
That's right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yes. Give him his golden crown. He is one of us.
Yeah, keep in mind, I checked it out at like 11 a.m.
Okay. Another image gone. I thought you was out at 2 a.m. In your Chevy, 1973 Chevy,
That's right.
Strapped up, right? Let's go. You want some of this? Okay. You had me going.
Yeah.
11 a.m.
Yeah. I did. I was on the South Side one time. I wasn't like deep on the South Side, and I went to get my car, and I had some guy like asking me something. He's like, "I gotta ask you something," and then he starts banging on my window.
Okay.
And I don't know if I should tell the rest of it, but let's just say that he understood that I wasn't the kind of person.
Yeah,
that I had options.
Yeah,
let's just put it that way.
That's right. You watch YouTube, boy.
Yeah. It's like, if you bang on my window and I don't know you,
that's so bad.
I'm gonna let you know I have options.
Good idea. My old lady, she was at work early. She opens up the place where she works. She opens it up, and she says this vagrant just appeared out of the woods. It's like 5 a.m.
Yeah.
And walked up, hey, give me a ride downtown. She's like, dude, I'm about to go to work. Give me a ride. And then, and the more the person talked, the more irate they got. Come on now, give me a ride. And then she called me and she says, he's beating on my window. I said, you got that chemical spray I gave you? She said, yeah, spray him. Hose him down, by God. And he kept banging on the car. She rolled that window down and emptied that can, freeze plus P, into his face.
Oh, wow.
Well, brutal. He rolled around. He was done. Then she called police. They came, hooked him up, took him away. I went, excellent.
Wow.
Excellent. Chemical spray. Non-lethal.
Wow. That's right.
Non-lethal.
It's funny. If pepper spray is called chemical spray. So that means if I order a sandwich, can I be like, can I have some chemical fruit on my sandwich?
I push the chemical option because, as you know, you always got to give yourself the non-lethal option.
Right. Do you use the regular spray or the gel or the
regular spray?
Right, just regular.
Good stuff.
Okay.
Get them all. Get their friends too.
Yeah.
Get their friends. Give yourself the non.
Just in case.
Just in case. Hey, give yourself the non. Because you've seen those people that carry weapons because they feel better having them.
Right.
We got an individual that's like that. They were stalking them. They were being stalked.
Right.
And she wanted to get a weapon. And she says, "Well, get this, and you can do that." And she's like, "Well, I don't want to hurt him." You don't want to hurt him.
Right.
Why are you buying a gun then?
Yeah, exactly.
But she said, "I just don't." One of those people who they don't want to use a weapon. They just like knowing it's there.
Right.
I feel better. Well, if you don't use it, you might as well not get it.
True. It's true.
You might as well not.
You got
get
to be prepared to use it.
Exactly. And she got the again. This individual came after her, broke out the freeze plus P, holds this guy. She had the big tall can, emptied that can into him. You're done.
Yeah.
You're done. Which again, big advocate. Always give yourself the non-lethal option.
Yeah.
Because the minute you pull that weapon, there may not be no going back.
Yeah.
Because some people, if they're crazed, they see you pull that weapon, that's going to agitate them even more.
Yeah.
And then if you hesitate, as you know, if you hesitate, now that's blood in the water.
Totally. Yep.
That's blood in the water.
Yeah. I've always thought when you, not that I've been in a million situations like this, but I've always thought you're better off to go with your first option than to hesitate.
Yes.
You know,
if it's come down to that.
If you're in a situation where you don't have time to think about what to do, it's like, just go with the first thing you think of.
True.
Because that's better than trying to decide. And then,
you're doing nothing because if you're well, should I do this? Should I do that? Should I offer him a sandwich?
Right. It might not have been the best choice, but it's better than no choice.
Do something. But non-lethal first, because that looks real good when the police roll up.
Oh, true.
No, that's right. Well, he came after me. I hosed him down. He kept coming. They produced a weapon, and I opened up.
Yeah.
Also, be aware, though, you have to do a lot of explaining. A lot of explaining. People forget that.
Totally.
That's why it's important that you know what you're doing. One thing we always talked about on the show, personal responsibility. If you're going to have any weapon, maybe not this one. But only the big boys get these. Sorry. Not for children. But if you're going to have a firearm at all,
right,
you got to be responsible. This individual, that means at all times, because we had an individual.
Yeah.
What if you got a crazed spouse that somehow gets a hold of your weapon and starts waving it around?
Yeah, it's
dude,
scary.
it's scary.
Bad situation.
Ooh, so again, non-lethal.
I'll tell you a funny pepper spray story I heard one time. Was it was actually when I was working security and I got certified to carry pepper spray.
Yeah.
The guy who taught me or whatever, of course, it was like former police officer, and he had done all kinds of different jobs. And when he was a correctional officer at one point, and he said that they were doing a prisoner transport, and they were in some kind of like van or bus type of situation, like you see in the movies. And he's sitting up front. And he had like the older pepper spray cans didn't have that safety, basically,
guard,
right? We got to kind
of
stick your thumb up underneath it or whatever. And he had his big belt on or whatever, and he's kind of a bigger guy. And he sat down in the seat, and he said he heard like the prisoners back there kind of like going crazy and making a bunch of noise. It's like, oh, quiet down back there or whatever. Okay. And then he realized he had like somehow activated his pepper spray.
Okay.
So he was just spraying it behind him. So they're just back there on the bus trying to, and they're just all getting sprayed back there.
I believe it. Biggest problem we've seen
so bad
with people, when you get people without training, pepper spray, they spray themselves. Because a lot of them don't believe. Does this really work? Does this really? Oh my God! Yes, it does. I let the one individual have some. They claimed that they were in fear. I said, here it is. This individual starts spraying bugs with it. Yeah. I went, jeez. Another example of nobody, people are idiots.
I'll tell you something I'll never forget when I was working security. And this was, it was like this work. I was working at this nightclub, and there was this female security guard, and she was such a hard ass. Like, first of all, she carried like 7 knives on her. What two. You only got two hands. You know what I mean? I don't know. Like she had all these knives.
Okay.
And she talked a big game. Like she just thought she was the shit. And of course, she probably weighed 105 pounds. Like,
of course.
she was tiny. You know, she talked a big game. And I'll never forget. There was this huge brawl that happened, and it was outside in the parking lot. And she went in there gung ho like she was going to break it up. And I mean a big brawl. I'm talking like 20, 25 people involved in this, right? And she went in there and tried to spray everyone, and she got overspray on herself. And keep in mind, she's carrying a gun, and she got overwhelmed by it, and she got down on her like knees and went like this on her face. And I was like, you have a gun. Like anyone could just reach and grab your pistol like that. You know what I mean? So it's like... I learned working that job that people who thought they were the biggest badasses were the most dangerous in most cases.
The dog that barks the loudest won't bite.
Absolutely.
You know, because the minute you hear all this tough talk, okay, this guy ain't nothing.
Right.
This guy ain't nothing.
Right.
And
because if you don't talk tough, it either means one, you know your own limitations.
Yeah.
Which
Smart.
is good.
Okay.
Or you are truly a badass and you have no reason to prove it.
I ain't got nothing to prove it.
It's just going to be obvious when the time comes. You know?
I
was in the first one. I was like, I knew my limitations.
Well, it's just safer that way. It's safer. Don't, dude.
Yeah.
You're not. What's his name?
Rambo.
Nah, good John. Nah, Keanu Reeves. You're not John Wick. Who is?
Yeah, right.
You're
True.
Hickok, not Wick.
Exactly.
Hey, you got to know. That's how you keep yourself safe, by knowing that.
Yeah.
It's the guy who's running around, trying to be tough guy. That's the guy that gets in trouble. That's the guy who does something stupid. That's the guy who injures somebody else. Because remember, every time if you fire that weapon, there's a lawyer attached to every round.
Especially this one.
Because there ain't no one shot. Well, I don't know if I can still do one shot, but you fire this thing, dude. Oh, my, dude.
We got a lot of, I don't know if there are this many lawyers, honestly. That's a lot of lawyers right there.
Oh, we found out that in some states, a felon can still carry a weapon.
Interesting.
Yes, it has to be black powder. Yes.
Okay.
Pre-1896 design. It can only be black powder. Cannot fire a cartridge of any kind.
Really?
But they can walk around with a musket flintlock all day.
Wow.
And nobody.
For a ye old carjacker.
Got your powder horn.
Yeah. Hear ye.
my pocket full of flints. Hey, we should be amazed.
I do declare. No one will carjack me.
We should be impressed because hitting something with a flintlock, and just load this on bitch up. I mean,
yeah. Oh, that reminds me. I'll tell you, this might be one of the dumbest jokes I've ever written. But I remember I had this joke years ago, and it was about how if you fly with a gun, like a lot of people don't know, you're allowed to fly with a gun
in your check bag.
Right. You're allowed. Yeah, exactly. You're allowed to fly with a gun as long as you declare it.
Okay.
And then the joke was like, so when I go to the airport, I walk in and I go, I do declare I have a gun.
Speaking of that, how's the career going?
It's good. I wouldn't call it a career yet, but
it's been a few years.
It has been a few years. Yeah, no, it's going good. I mean, it's one of those things where like comedy is like the industry. It's one of those things where it's nothing until it's something.
Okay,
you know what I mean? I've people ask me about my progress a lot in comedy, and it's like, well, I'm not like a working comic yet, but when that happens, it happens fast.
Dude, you just did it again. I thought you was there doing a set every night, the hottest club in Chicago.
I do sets like every night.
I thought, what the dude? I thought, you have your own show, talk show. Like you see these people with talk shows that you never heard of.
Right, totally.
You're like, who are you? And he has his own show.
Right.
You should get a reality gig.
That's right. There it is. Yeah.
Like Love and Hip Hop Chicago.
Yeah. No, I do sets like every night, but the thing is, like, I'm building an act, and I'm trying to basically, like, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to build an act to where I have enough material where I can start putting stuff out.
Okay.
Okay. And then once I do that, then I'm gonna, I do shows, on the road and do all that kind of thing. But it's like the problem. So the state of comedy right now. So the old school way of like making it in comedy.
Yeah.
Right. Used to be You host at your local club. So the typical comedy show, you have the host who does like 10 to 15 minutes.
Okay.
And then you have the feature, which is like technically the opener. He'll do like 20 minutes. And then you have the headliner who people paid to see.
Okay.
Who's the real,
the real
attraction.
talent,
And he's going to do 45 minutes to an hour, right?
Okay.
So in the old days, it was, you get a job as a host, right? At the club, you host for a while. Then you get good enough and you have enough material, then they ask you to feature, right?
Okay.
And then you do that for a while. So then you're the opener.
Okay.
You do the road and you're opening for people. And then when you get good enough, then they ask you to headline, right? And then you're headlining as like a no name. But then you kind of, you perform long enough, you kind of build up a following. And then maybe you get on Johnny Carson or, the Tonight Show. And, then you kind of start to get some credits and get some notoriety. And then you're a headliner that can sell tickets. And that's how you go up that way. Well,
I end up doing the big stadiums.
Yeah. Well, that's all done now because of the internet. There's so many people who have a following, right? That they're actually booking people who are not even like good comedians that just have a following that can sell tickets, right?
How do these people have a following? How do these people have a following? If they suck, how do they have
just whatever. They have some like TikTok thing that they do or what. You know what
TikTok
I mean?
famous. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
In other words, not famous.
Right. Well, yeah. Yeah, exactly. And
TikTok
like,
famous like I'm a soldier on Call of Duty. Yeah.
right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it's tougher in a certain degree. But of course, I have the advantage of already having some social media stuff going.
Okay.
I just haven't like fully presented my stand up to that yet. But but the thing is, I'm trying to play it smart because a lot of people are delusional about comedy. Like it's very difficult to put together like a good act that's strong, right? So people will put stuff out before they're ready and everything. I'll throw like little things out here and there, but I'm trying to really build something good. Because I'm kind of a purist when it comes to like the art form and the craft and all that kind of stuff. So I'm trying to I want to put out a good product when I put it out.
I think you got to make sure your stuff works because this video stuff is good and bad because like you said, you got people just throwing stuff out there. And,
totally.
And it's like,
I want to put out something good that I'm proud of and that people are going to like.
And you will stand out because it's good.
Right.
I thought you have like a team of writers like Bill Maher.
No. I do all the writing myself. No, that's like there are like really successful comics that have writers, but it's looked down upon in that.
It is
in the stand-up community. Yeah.
I'll be damned. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought like what's his name? White guy, the white guy. What the?
That could be any of us. What the hell?
Jim Gaffigan.
Jim Gaffigan. Yeah.
Him and his wife.
I mean, honestly, we should have guessed Jim Gaffigan when he said the white guy. I mean,
I had it
come on,
down.
Yeah, come on, it was clear. Come on.
He is the whitest. He's the whitest guy.
Jim Gaffigan.
Right.
Him and his wife, right? And
interesting.
Yeah.
Okay,
So. I mean,
those really famous guys, obviously, it's like, all right, you kind of get it because they have so much stuff going on, But I mean, for me, it's like I wouldn't want to do that. I mean, I'm writing my own stuff. I'm trying to build my own act based on my own perspective and all that kind of shit. But
I've always heard material is the biggest thing that trips people up.
Yeah.
Because also, again, I keep saying
it's hard work. I mean, most people aren't willing to do it. It's very hard work.
Also, being creative, it's not easy. I mean,
No, yeah.
And if you write a joke and it works, how long does it work on average?
It depends. I mean, it depends on the crowd because it's like if it's a good joke, it'll work forever unless it's like a topical thing that people are going to forget about later. But yeah, I have some jokes that I wrote like 2 years into comedy that still do great.
Okay.
You
tell jokes or you tell stories? Like Patton Oswalt.
Yeah, I feel like my style is kind of like I do like bits, which is like it's like a shorter thing, but it's like a lot of them I tell in the where it's kind of like a story. So I don't do like many like long stories. It's more like jokes and
Well, I think you can't. You can't do the old storyteller. You can't be doing that because people are like,
True. And a lot of people they don't have a lot of punchlines in their stories. And so you can't just it's stand-up comedy. You can't just go up there and just talk forever. You gotta like actually have jokes.
That's what people think you're doing, though. They think you're just talking. No.
Yeah,
There's a purpose behind it.
But I'm not doing like a rabbit walks into a bar. I'm not doing that type of shit. You know?
Are any of those guys out there?
Probably. Yeah.
I mean, what? Is this R-rated?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. I want to check. I
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
Make sure you're not G-rated.
You can cuss. We can
I heard
say
this
bad
guy
words.
said that I was in Iraq and I was going to this bunker, right? And I found this lamp, and I dusted it off. I knocked the dust off of it, and the genie came out. And the genie said, "Hey, look, thanks for freeing me, and because you freed me, I'll give you one wish. You can have a long memory or a long dick." And I can't remember what I told him.
That's funny.
You're gonna use that job.
I'll tell you a Dom Herrera joke. You know who that is?
Yeah.
Old school comic. All right, he has this joke. It's kind of like a street joke. I guess he wrote it though. I don't know, but I saw him do it on some old thing like forever ago, and I'll probably butcher it. But it's like these two guys are in a foxhole in a war, right? In Vietnam, I think it is, and the one guy's like, I gotta take a shit,
Okay.
And he's like, we can't do it in here, whatever,
Yeah.
So he's like, all right, so he goes into like in a combat zone. He like goes away to try to find a place where he can take a shit, and he's gone for a long time. He's thinking like, oh, he must have been dead,
Okay.
And he comes back. After a long time, he's like, wow, it's like, what happened? I can't believe you made it. And he goes, oh man, you won't believe it. I found a foxhole with the most beautiful woman inside. We had sex, we did all this stuff, and he goes, oh wow, did she give you head? And he goes, no, she had no head.
I don't know where I stole this joke from, but I heard a guy say, "What's the difference between toilet paper and a shower curtain?"
What?
So you're the one. Okay. So,
all right, you got one? You got a joke, Jesse?
Well, I ain't got no joke.
flipping the song. Flipping the song.
Yeah.
I'm just the damn sound guy.
Yeah. What the hell? Can you still hear me?
Yeah.
This is I just lost. Hello.
I hear you.
Comms check.
You can still hear me
Radio,
though.
radio check.
You can still hear me. My headphone went dead.
When dead.
Yep.
We're sitting right at about 2
All right.
hours.
Yeah, I can hear you, but I can't hear my mic.
It's a sign.
Yeah.
Go and say something.
Hey, check 1 2 1 2.
I hear you.
Did you hear me?
Yeah.
Like it sounds like it's coming through the mic. That's weird. I don't know. All right. Well, technical difficulties we'll figure out next time. But I got to pee anyway. So.
All right. Good to Good to share.
Oh wait, okay. Now I can hear. Weird. What did you do? Something?
I pressed a button.
You fucking muted my headphones over there. You son of a bitch. You son. The sound guy took away the sound.
The fucked up part about that is I pressed a button on my headphones and it's fucking muted you.
Oh damn! All right. Well, hey man, this is fun as always.
Always
Excited to do it again, and DM60. Maybe as the start of the trend, we'll have to have like some kind of cool gun out here.
Yeah, I'll get a scar next time.
A scar, yeah.
Dude, excellent.
That's right, like an actual scar.
Or guns of pick a movie, guns of that movie, like
right,
Sicario, excellent movie.
Oh yeah, that is a great movie.
Yeah, excellent.
That is a great one.
That's the job. That's a law enforcement job I want. Dude.
Yeah.
Dude.
Oh man, I'll tell you what's scary though about dealing with the cartel is that I feel like they got a long memory.
Oh yeah, you're playing for
They come,
keeps.
yeah, they come after you.
Okay.
scary.
What's the other guns of what's that movie? Guy from 300 was in it. Den of Thieves.
Oh, I've never seen that.
Dude.
Okay, I gotta
stop
watch
what
that.
you're doing. Watch
Den of
that movie.
Thieves.
Den
All
of
right.
Thieves. This is the guy from 300.
Really?
Gerard Butler.
Okay.
L.A. County sheriff's deputies taking on some high-speed robbers, bank robbers.
Okay. Den of Thieves. I'll
Best
watch
part, they'll have a shootout in the middle of L.A., which is
that. Okay. All right. All right, man. Appreciate it.
excellent.
See you next time.
See ya.
See ya.